Okay, so we're recording there, Okay, so, where have I put? Okay, there we go. Right, this is the first bit of content I've done in actual years, at least for myself. Got to stop looking there or there. I'm looking there. There we go. Yeah, it's time for Lent again. The last couple of Lents have not been particularly interesting to film. I was on a schedule last year. The year before that, I had to be scripted, which was very impactful to people that was around me, but it wasn't particularly interesting for vlogging or anything, because obviously I can just read from a script, so that would have been too easy. Then before that, I was eating with chopsticks, which was not what I wanted to be doing. But was it, or was that the year before that? I mean, there was a year when I was eating with chopsticks, and it was just because I got COVID like the day before, and I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. So that's what I ended up doing, and obviously it was far more interesting when I was eating with no cutlery. But I mean, there was fun. There was fun to be had. So there we go. Right, so I've got a new camera that I don't know how it works, so I'm going to be testing out on this because I've got actual work to do with it on Friday. So hopefully I'll have sorted out how it works by then. This might be terrible, but hopefully that won't be. I'm also using my new Zoom recorder, which I've never used before, so we're also testing that out to see how well that works. So fun. Right. Anyway, yes. This time, the official wording of this Lent is that I have abstained from leaving the flat without a face on. So yeah, I'm wearing makeup. That's the essential part of it. So on Saturday, I went to Sephora. What I actually did, so I went to Stratford. I went to Westfield in Stratford because I wanted to go to John Lewis, because obviously I was like, I need concessions counters. I need, Saturday girls to tell me what to do. And I went to John Lewis and I walked around and everybody was just chatting to themselves, and nobody was like actively trying to help me. But I had walked past Sephora on the way in. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but it appears to have. And like my flatmate was telling me that, because my flatmate was with me at the time, was telling me that that is the expensive place to go and get your makeup, apparently. But people seem to really like it, apparently. So I tried going in there, because what they have there is they have a central section, and it's actual Sephora staff that are then giving you the advice and everything. And when I was there and looking around, or when we were there and looking around, a lady, I want to say Claudia, possibly, stopped us, asked us what we needed, and explained it, and she was like, "Okay, come have a sit down, and we'll figure out what we want to do." So that's what happened. And like the original plan had been to like go to one of the concessions, get them to tell me what I needed to do, and then just go and buy the Superdrug version of that, because apparently Superdrug's really good. But instead, like this lady, she sat me down, she took me through everything, and I asked my flatmate, and she said, I mean, the prices weren't cheap, but they weren't insane either. So I was like, well, we've had a good service. We're just gonna get it all from Sephora. Whether it was actually good advice, I don't know. Like, so I was because I've been taught over the years, so that what we need to do is have lots of. What am I thinking? We've got to have lots of. You got to have like your foundation, and then all your bronzer and so on and so forth, and then talking to people over the weekend. There was a range. You get the people that, yes, they've got their entire process, they've got many layers of it, and you got other people that were like, I wear a bit of lipstick, and that's all. So we're trying to work out kind of a bare minimum, and what the lady suggested, what I went with perhaps we can change this in later days, later weeks, is what they call a skin tint. Now, she called it a skin tint, as like the base layer that we're putting all over. The Sephora receipt absolutely calls it a concealer. So putting concealer everywhere, apart from where we want the actual concealer, and the actual concealer, that one is going on the concealy bits. So fine, that's what we're doing. And then we have a very basic mascara, which is just there, no colour on it or anything. All it's doing is it's getting the eyelashes to curl, and then a bit of lipstick, which when we did the lipstick in the shop, we had like these weird little Q-tip things, whereas I don't know, am I supposed to just put the stick on? I don't. We'll see how that goes. And also, like, I've got £50 worth of makeup remover now, of cleanser. We've got an oil cleanser and then a water cleanser, and apparently there's a whole process to that. So obviously I've used the water cleanser this morning while I was having a shower, so I've actually cleansed my face probably for the first time. Like, normally I just use my shampoo, you get it out the hair and get it on the face, and then boom, clean. But no, there's a correct way to do this. But anyway, let's have a look at what we've got in here. And there's a powder, which is apparently a transparent powder, but it's clearly flesh coloured, or like my flesh coloured, ish. We should say bright white. Okay, so what do I need? She also gave us a free revealer dual-ended makeup blender, because there had been that question of, what am I supposed to do to put it on, because I was told that although you can use your fingers, if you use your fingers, then you'll get extra oil on it, and you don't want to get extra oil on it. That'd be insane. So this is double-ended, so that I can have the fat end for. Presume I've not tried it. This is not what we used when we were trying this out. But yeah, we've got the fat end is going to be for the skin tint, and then the little end is going to be for dabbing on the concealer. Presumably, we're going to find out. Let's see how this goes. And then off Amazon, we apparently have powder puff face triangles, because we actually used a brush in Sephora, but we're going to be using a face triangle for getting the powder on. So this will be fun. Right, so first things first then. So I have recently moisturised. Now I need to work out here. Okay, so the Soft Radiant Skin Tint, there we go, or Fluide de Teint, as it's called in French. So, we know where that's supposed to go. Right, we need my medium coverage, dewy finish. Let's see, balm concealer. So that is the concealer that we're going to have. Can I get? Maybe no, that's never going to happen. Never mind. But yes, okay. So let's try this out. See what happens. So first things first, we need our skin tint. That is what I would call this foundation. But I don't know about these things. First, I need to open it. So the first challenge is we've got. Can I get away with just doing that? Maybe. Whoa. Well, actually, kind of. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Right. So I believe with this one I can just sort of smoosh it on. Now, this one kind of goes well with one of my standard lent. I've got my standard lent battery, which is that I am not allowed to. I'm not allowed to touch anything on my body that is not my hands. So I'm only allowed to touch my hands. I can't touch my face, the rest of myself, or anything like that. The practical side of that is because I enjoy popping spots, and that's not a good way to be. So over lent, at least, I don't do that. Okay, so I've got a bit of that on there. I Don't know how else it's going to work, but so I've been told. This goes on, okay, and I'm not to put it directly on under the eyes or anything, because that is for the concealer. And it's annoying because I did this, well, the lady helped me do this on Saturday, and of course you end up looking exactly the same as you did before, just flat. Now we did have a look at doing eyeliner, but that just looks terrible. I don't know. Like, why would I want just a big black line? I don't know if there's a better way to do it, but yeah, it just seemed to be big old black line that was happening. I mean, I did it myself. It was interesting to try it, but yeah, I didn't really understand why we would have eyeliner, what the purpose of that might be. So I did not go ahead with that. I have no idea if this has worked. As I say, it's am I just caking it on at this point? Is this what's happening? I can't. Is this doing anything? Am I actually? Also, I have a time limit on this because there is a tray bake in the oven, which needs dealing with. So now, the nice thing about being boring about this is that I don't need to worry too much about the edges of my makeup, because hopefully they're going to be basically the same, just less smooth. I don't know. I have no idea if this has done anything or not. Okay, let's assume it has. Why not? And then we'll see what happens. Okay, so now then, the actual concealer. So I'm going to use the small end, and I've been told that what I need to do here is I need to get it up in the corner of my eye here. There we go. And then I need to dab it on, apparently. So we put it under the eyes, because obviously I always look like I'm tired. I am hopefully going to get more sleep than usual over Lent, because I'm going to try and I'm trying to sort of fold in a few times over. Well done, yeah. A few times on Lent I have. Okay. A few times in Lent I have sort of given up laziness, or I've had to be very proactive or anything like that. That's kind of what happened last year round, where I was on a schedule, and actually being on a schedule, that sort of taught me that I actually really enjoy how productive I can be if I'm on a schedule. Now, obviously, the schedule that I was on previously, it was a bit much, if you will. So, oh, hello. Oh, damn, that's gone well overboard. Okay, let's. Okay, I've got far too much on the nose. But then again, maybe I've gone just right on the nose, because I did have a lot of blemishes going on there, and you can still see some of them, but maybe it's helping. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm going to try and not be quite as aggressive with my schedule as I was over last Lent, but I can try and basically say, am I doing something like something tangible, sort of the Elon Musk approach, if you will. What's the 5 things that you're doing that you've done this week? But it's just at any given moment, what am I doing right now? Is it something that is it something? Is it something tangible? Is it something useful? Something I can say to somebody, oh, this is what I'm doing. And if it's nothing, so, fundamentally things like mobile games and just like faffing and things like that, if it's just that, then I should be doing something. And if there's nothing obvious for me to be doing, then I have my schedule to tell me what I should be doing. So that is the plan there. Okay. We can spread that out a bit. Okay, so I mean, maybe that's worked. I don't know. I'm not kind of. It's basically just looking for spots, and is that doing anything? Am I now getting super over the top on that? I don't know. I mean, maybe that's worked. I have no idea. I mean, I think that's kind of fixed some stuff. Right. Let's hope that's enough. So also the real problem here is that this week this Wednesday, specifically today, is the worst possible day to have done this, or rather the best, depending who you are, because I've actually got something to be doing, which generally I don't have. And now that is the... hang on a second, I need to quickly go remove the tray bake from the oven. Just a moment. Okay, Google, stop. And by tray bake, I mean a pasta bake. I don't mean that there's like brownies or something going on. Right, so I have just checked in the mirror with more light. Obviously, I've got no lighting here. I've got a window in front of me. I've done this very poorly. But yeah, I checked in the bathroom, and possibly, yes, I've definitely got makeup on. Possibly far too much. We'll find out. Right, so I'm going to do my 12-hour setting and mattifying powder. See how this goes for me. It's universal, it says. And the lady at Sephora, she kept saying that everything felt weightless, except she wasn't saying weightless, she was saying something else, and I can't remember what it was, but it was very confusing until I worked out that she meant weightless, and I was like, all right. And apparently, yes, this is a problem, I'm told, with the products that I've managed to get here, where yeah, they are pretty weightless, and they should not be if I want to really experience what it's like to have a full face on. But there we go, that is what's happened. I have no idea if I'm putting the powder on or if I'm just taking the makeup off. But there we go, this will apparently make it set. I've probably gone far too far on this, but there we go, or not nearly enough. I have no idea how to work this out. Okay, I am going to try my mascara. So apparently this is a lash gel, is what this is, and it's basically colourless, and it just allows me to lift up the lashes. There we go. So let's see if that works for me. And, you know, I always thought, up until 2 days ago, because I've never had to do this, that the way that these works is that you put them behind the eyelash and you curl up, because that's where there's that. But actually what you're doing is you're basically putting backspin on your eyelash and lifting it out that way. And okay, it's definitely not colourless because I now have that on my eyelid. But okay. Oh shit, okay. Yeah, I don't know how this is done on a train or anything like that, because this is definitely going in my eye. There we go. I mean, maybe that's done something. Let's clean this off with that there. Maybe. Yeah, that's worked. Okay, so that's something that I've done. Then the piece of resistance is, how do I open this? Just okay, this is the Sephora number 6 full ignition lipstick, which we decided was the one that's closest to just my natural lip tone. Whatever that is. So bollocks. Okay. I don't want to go over the top with this. Can I? I'm gonna try. See, that's the thing I can't do. Is the lipstick on there? Can I just? No. Okay. I'm not sure if what I'm doing makes a lot of sense, but there we go. So I now have, yeah, the lipstick is the really obvious bit. There's nothing I can really do about that being really obvious. But that is what it, maybe, I don't know, maybe if somebody sees me they won't notice it. It'll just seem like I have a ruddy complexion. But there we go. That's what I've done. I don't know if it's too much, it's not enough. What it actually looks like, we'll find out. I have lunch to have. Obviously I put on my lipstick directly before eating a nice greasy lunch, and then I will go and have a meeting and then run a webinar with, you know, banking people, because that's my job, is to run meetings and webinars with banking people. So, and hopefully at some point today I'm going to edit this and upload it. So and find out if I can get this, get Colour Profile working on this properly. We'll find out. Anyway, goodbye.